My friends, it happens so often, like when I jump on the Zoom to record whatever is coming through on that day, that I I just really don't know what it is. It feels like there's this thing, I can feel it, there's clarity, but there's not full clarity. And it's just interesting to just wait and see what it is that wants to be spoken, even though I may not have the clarity, enough clarity and words of what I really want to say. And it's an interesting place to be in every day and just learning to live in the unknown where there is something there, but it's like jumping into the flow because I can feel the flow is here, but I don't know what's in the flow. That makes sense. So when I do that, when it comes with so much, I don't really know where this is going to go, or is there a deeper truth to this? Um, it is just learning that the answers are here. And we do not need to know them all before we start some kind of a project. Like many of us, we have maybe these downloads or insights or just something expanding. And just because we don't know what it is or where it's going to go or what it means, there might be a tendency to close it down and not follow through with it. It's like there's something that wants to come through, and maybe we have something, yeah, but how am I going to do that practically? How is that going to work? Or how am I going to monetize that if it's a business thing? Or something like that, where we then have the tendency to just kind of like close the doors instead of letting them open up. So whatever is coming can reveal what else is there. What is behind the doors when we really open them up. But we have to open them up first and welcome whatever it is that wants to come out. There have been videos where I started with something and then it goes in a completely different direction. And then afterwards, oh, wow, that was really powerful. I learned something today. And I'm sure a lot of you have that same experience. So I want to just welcome that in if some of you are like wanting to know it all or understand the whole thing or know all the steps, how to do it or how to get there. It's actually not necessary. It might even hinder, and it probably does, it hinders that flow to come out and express itself, where we can, as we open the door, then we can jump onto the flow or the energy that comes out. And then we're right there, on the flow. We're just going along with it, not knowing if we're going left or right or, going fast or slow. But we have at least said yes to getting on the wave and then see where it's going to take us. So I really want to invite you to play with that if you haven't yet. If this is something you can relate to, where you may have stopped yourself in the past from letting something bigger than yourself. It's like there isn't an aliveness in it, but there is no clarity. There's no steps. There's no understanding of it yet, but there is something here. That is that's how we start living in the mystery. Because the mystery, of course, a mystery is a mystery because we don't know, right? And the field that I often talk about, it is a mystery. And you will not know the field until you enter it or let it in, however you experience that. It's going to be very unique for every one of us. And it's learning to trust this sensation, feeling, pressure, inspiration, expansion, and let yourself go there with a curiosity like, okay, there's something here, and I do not know what it is. And then open up to it. Let it show you. Let it show you. Don't think you need to know because you don't. You don't. It's like this energy will expand you, will expand us beyond the belief that we have to know something. As you roll with it, you will learn what it is. You will learn how to, surf that wave, and and then things will start falling in place in your life because you are bringing that flow, that wave of coherence, right? Because when it's coming from the field, well, everything is the field, but when we open up to the field is coherence itself. And that's why in the field, everything that is needed is already there, right? So when you feel, inspiration, ideas, downloads knocking somewhere from within, you're feeling the field like wanting to expand through or as you, if I can say it that way. Using words for something that is wordless is sometimes a little challenging, but it's like let it just expand beyond the narrow boundaries and the limited understanding that we have where we're trying to fit it into, and there's no way it ever will, because then it would still be what you know or what you think you know, and then you stay in that realm of the mind. So we do need to learn to just, it's like answering that call with a, ooh, I wonder who that is, or I wonder what this energy wants. So I want to open up to it so I can find out. And all this thing about knowing that will be there. It has to be there because that is what has kept us separate from the field. So as the energies and the frequencies are expanding a lot more these days, these these structures that we have been building around ourselves, they have to expand or dissolve or whatever, however it all works. They will dissipate because that narrow, limited, tight energy that we have been living in and as, that that cannot fit in. It can't fit into this. It's simply impossible. So that's why when we allow it to expand, these barriers that we have built around ourselves, they will disappear simply because lack of coherence, which is what they are, there is no room for that in coherence. Everything that comes into coherence loses its lack of coherence, right? It has to be that way. It's like jump in the water and you will be wet. There's no way you can be dry in the water. So there's no way you can lack coherence when you enter the field and open up to let the field bring coherence to where there is no coherence yet. It's like let the water make everything wet that had been dry all along, and you know shrunk and like little raisins. So let the water, let the field, expand into that. So it does take, well, it takes curiosity for sure. you would want to know what it is, that there has to something has to live in us that's like, I want to know more about this field. And what other way can we find out than by making ourselves available to the field? So if you're feeling anything right now, if you feel any kind of longing, right? You know how I often talk about longing. I always talk about longing because it's such a powerful place. It's so important. So if you long to know the field, stay with the longing. That's about as simple as it is, because the longing, that is where the field is knocking from behind. It's like, huh? I would like to come in if you will let me, and you can feel me right here, because what you're longing for is me, is the field, is your true essence. So that's where we can begin to really, it's a practice to be willing to feel the longing for the field if you long for it. And I think that's really what I'm talking about today, right? To make ourselves available, make ourselves open vessels for the field to come through and lift the lower dimensions, the the dimensions that are out of harmony or out of coherence. They just naturally lift them into a place where there is only coherence. And that can also be called heaven on earth. It's everywhere, but it's where we cannot see it as long as we are looking in a different direction, in the wrong direction. Then you will not see it. So we have to go inside and really start feeling that pushing, that knocking, that expansion. And then just make yourself available for that. And you will not know where it goes. And before I finish today, I want to just say that I had a totally different feeling here that wanted to be spoken. And I didn't say a word about it. So, you just don't know if you get on that wave. It's like, oh, and it just keeps coming, and then more ideas and more expansion. So I'm just going with the flow. So in one way, I'm an example of how that can work when you just let yourself feel that beginning and then let it take you wherever it wants to take you. So I hope that's helpful. And, maybe tomorrow I'll talk about what I was thinking I was going to talk about today, but you just never know. All right, my friends, I hope you have a beautiful day, and, jump on that surfboard on your own flow and let it take you wherever it is taking you.